How you doing, YouTube? Matt Mess Beer Reviews, outdoor mystery beers. It's beautiful outside. Let's see what's what. This one comes courtesy of Jeff. Yeah, he sent me off a box of Jersey. Well, not Jersey, just kind of box of beers, and there's a bunch of different stuff in there. And yeah, nice sweet duct tape on there. Not really duct tape, it's kind of like a packing tape kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a hazy, big old double IPA looking jammer right there. So I think we're off to a very juicy start. Let's get a nose. Yeah, there's something to it, man. It's all about the grapefruit and pineapple. There's almost like an acidic thing in here that's outside of like what you normally get from like just the fruits that are imported from like hops and stuff like that. So I kind of think there's actual like fruit in here. Yeah, it has to be, because there's this kind of rindy thing, this like grapefruit rindy thing that's coming off like super vibrant. So it's like, I don't even know if I'd call it like a hazy double IPA or an IPA at this point. I mean, it's definitely super hop forward, but I can see this being a little bit tart, so it might even be kind of like a kettle sour or something like that. Not really getting that on the nose. You're just getting gobs and gobs of citrus. But it has, that citrus is so vibrant and so rindy, it almost gets to the point where it's kind of cleaner-esque. Not in a bad way. It smells pretty damn good. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah, it follows suit on the taste. There's an extra sweetness to it. I don't think there's like lactose or something like that, but it's almost like probably a super heavily oated beer. It has to have some kind of added fruit to it, like a blood orange kind of thing going on. Yeah, I haven't had blood orange in beers for quite some time. A blood orange Goza by it was Anderson Valley, I think it was. That was the big one, and a lot of people are using it over time. And I haven't had it in quite some time, and that's where this is really coming off, because that's kind of giving you subtle kind of orange vibes, but it's really kind of leaning heavily in that grapefruit. Tastes like she has a little bit of pop to her, but nothing too crazy. So I'm going to go Somebody's IPA, okay? Somebody's IPA, 7.8% added fruit. There's a citrus rindiness. There's a big, bold grapefruit skinniness, blood orange thing going on that leads me to believe that there's something there addition-wise. And there isn't an added sweetness to it, but I don't know what it is. I don't think it's a lactose thing. But that's pretty much it. Maybe it's a juice thing. Maybe it's an added juice. So, yeah. There you go. Done and done. 7.8% IPA with blood oranges added. Trying to think of anything else. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what that additional sweetness is. Like I said, it could be just like a gigantic oated thing. But we're going to find out. Let's see. We have, boom, never heard of this brewery before. Nowhere in particular. Is the name of the beer, I believe, not the brewery, 8%. So we're almost there. We're 7.8 we're talking about. Packaged by Nowhere in Particular by Rivertown Brewing Company. Okay, Rivertown. I've had their beers before. Monroe, Ohio. And this is a Nowhere in Particular batch number 30. It's a Mimosa IPA. It's a brute-inspired ale brewed with oranges. So, yeah, I'm cool with that. It didn't come off... I don't know where this lands then. Because there's that added sweetness there. Maybe... Let's see, it has something written on here. Maybe I'll explain it. It says, this beer you're holding is a beer that has never been made, that will never be made again. It's the only one that fits the representation of ever-changing lineage, meant to abolish monotony and clear the way for audacity. Simulated, then visit, NIP Brew Co. For intimate details about the can in your hand. So, okay, so it is Nowhere in Particular Brewing, but they brewed at Rivertown Brewing. Okay, I gotcha. Since 2014, there's no date in the can, but I assume it's relatively fresh. Yeah, I'm guessing, and this is where that kind of sweetness thing comes in. I'm totally okay with everything I said, because it's, definitely had those orange vibes going in there. I just couldn't really nail down that sweetness. And that's where I think it came from. I think it came from the added orange in there. What I think they did, I think they actually brewed it and then, had that brute enzyme in it and maybe the oranges were added at a later date and added that sweetness to it, because it wasn't a malt sweetness, so it was something outside of a normal sweetness. So it's not devoid of sweetness, what you typically expect from a lot of brut IPAs or brut beers in general. But brut is not necessarily devoid of sweetness either, so there always can be some sweetness there, but it's almost like it dropped out all that malt sweetness, and then you kind of gain that kind of sweet kind of orange vibes to it. It's a really fun beer. I dig it. And the mimosa thing really does make sense, because it does kind of come off that way. It's very orange forward. It's still a beer, but there's a little bit more to it, so it kind of makes sense in a really, really fun way. I dig that beer. It's a super fun one. There you go. Actually, and this is, let's see, nowhere in particular from Ohio. This might not be actually from, because I forgot to write the names on them. I don't believe this is actually from Jeff in Jersey. I think this is from Brandon from Ohio. He sent me off a couple of beers. I'm almost certain this came from him, so sorry for the mix-up, brother. That's my bad. Anyway, so let's talk about it. It's one of the better brut beers. Let's put it that way. Let's go that singular. It's one of the better brut IPAs I've had as of late. Absolutely. Just the way it kind of shows, and the uniqueness of the beer itself kind of makes it a fun beer, regardless of it being a brut beer. And it's probably one of the more funner, maybe not the best, one of the more funner kind of IPA / double IPAs I've had, because of the way those oranges show. So that in and of itself is really fun. Value and availability, no idea. Maybe somebody out there in Ohio can let us know what's what and leave you with, if you like, what will you like this beer. If you like brut, man, I mean, this is going to do you proper, because it's tasty beer. I dig it. It's showing what it wants to show, and it's doing exactly what it wants to do, and it's a kind of a fun application between the way the brut shows up and the way the oranges are played. So if you dig on oranges and you like beers that are sweet but not necessarily in that kind of straight malt forward sweetness, this will do you good. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive for the podcasting. And massivebeers@gmail.com if you want to jump on the old mystery beer train. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little brut jammer right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.